she transitioned from gymnastics to cheerleading and stuff, which it takes a lot of gymnastic flips and excuse me while I continue to get everything. I'm trying to get this wire out of my way. Okay, alright, that'll good. So yeah, I mean, gymnastic takes a lot. Cheerleading takes a lot of like gymnastic ability to flips and tricks and craziness. It's kind of interesting. I guess not enough countries would have that they would be able to put that into the Olympics, but like gymnastics or cheerleading could completely be an Olympic event. It would be a weird Olympic event, I can tell you that much. But a lot of dudes would be watching. It would be a weird Olympic event. Alright, Kitty, let's go to my artwork. So, I completely, man, I struggle. So, I'll go with the first two. The most, my attempts at sort of mixing my realism my realism, mixing realism with my weird style that I'm trying to develop more. Very colorful, very demure, very mindful, very colorful, very demure. The problem, here, let's get over here. Hey, the problem. So this is Bruno Mars in his cowboy hat from his newer video and his cowboy outfit. And here, let me go up close. So up close, and I brought it into a digital. I took a picture of it and played around with it on the iPad also. But in my attempts at making it more surreal and stuff, I added these like dots and eyes and the hair kind of like coming out like that, and kind of like, I don't know, I do this in my normal artwork, or my not normal artwork, where it's like the person's kind of disintegrating, or that's not a good word for it, but something like that, where like it continues, the pattern of it continues, and usually it's with eyes and stuff. And the thing that is difficult when you're kind of blending the surreal with the real when I'm doing it is that I rely on like patterns and stuff, and then I make these circles and these circles right there. Or is it over here? I don't know. You can see. And what happens is that it kind of makes it look, I think it gives it a diseased look, which is not what I'm going for. Because the only time you'll see something like that, and as prominent as that, it's like, it gives the vibe of sickness, I think. And, I spent a lot more time on this than that's another part of the problem. And I've got the video of it. Maybe I'll play and fast forward. I'll play the video right now. And try to be out of the way. So, yeah, let me look at it while I talk. Yeah, and I also have like the hair. Here, real quick. I have the hair right there kind of coming out. Like, I was trying to figure out how I could do that. Make it more surreal. And have pieces of it, like duplicating and coming out. Okay, so. Yeah. So that's the difficult thing with making. I don't want to spend. This is the other problem. I don't have the time in slash not surreal. I thought, well, maybe people would search for Bruno Mars, or maybe that would intrigue them more to see my artwork, and then that's how I would get them. So I didn't start with Bruno Mars. I actually started with Charlie XCX, since she's having a brat summer, and Kamala is having a brat summer, and a brat fall soon. So I started. Look at me. Oh, this is very steamy. I've got my tea that I just got, but a lot of steam's coming out, so I'm thinking it's kind of hot. So I started with this, which I like a lot more than Bruno over there. Sorry, Bruno. I don't know that it looks like Charlie, and I didn't know I was spelling her name with an E at the end. Apparently, it's just CHARLIXCX. So, and I brought in a lot more of my stuff, and it worked a lot better. And it might just be because, I mean, if you can see the images behind me, a lot of my art has just been profile pictures and stuff, and just a big head. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe Mr. Bruno was a little bit too small. I think the eyes are a little bit small here. This one too, I brought into a digital, and I finished it up digitally, and I got a lot more interesting like variation and stuff. Let me show you all like that. And so like this works up here. Yeah, I liked that. I put my rain where I have, this is rain, it's not tears and it's not sweat, okay, it's rain. And then and yeah, like it was, and I have an X, I didn't really mean for that X there to be there, but it felt very, Charlie, XCX, XXXX, so I thought, okay, I'll leave that. That's fine. That's good. That's interesting. And yeah, the whole thing. I did paint. I did ink for the hair, and then I have the gel pens. The gel pens that I did as well. So I liked that one a lot more. So I made her eyes bigger in the digital part, and then I brought the image. I don't have this on there, but I brought the image into an app called Destroy Pics that I really like, where you can very like intuitively and easily like duplicate some parts of it. So in the final digital part, I'll do this. The eyes kind of are duplicated up here, and there's some pieces that I drug down and just did different things. It's hard to kind of explain how you use that app. But yeah, I like this one so much better than Bruno over there. Bruno, dude, I didn't do you well. I didn't do good for you, my friend. I'm sorry, Bruno. So now I'm gonna just I've got like 5 other things here that I'll just show. So here's the first thing, and this. So I just started this without any idea. I just wanted to put a bunch of colors in the background and see if anything popped up for me. And the first thing that popped up was this face here, and then these. Where are they? Oh, these dots here. because I'm not really feeling it. I was doing this on TikTok and TikTok Live and stuff, and I just get really into my head, even though no one's watching me on TikTok. Like, people will show up and then leave, and then after you end the live, you can see how long people were there, and it's like no one stayed for over a minute. So they just popped in, went no, and then left, which is okay. But I'm acting like I'm really being observed, and nobody's really observing me. And I think a lot of people, they don't want to see this kind of artwork. I've scrolled through lives and I've looked at other people's artwork on YouTube too. People that have a lot of views or a lot of follows, subscribers. I'll continue to do that because it is helpful. The flowers coming up like this and like blocking the mouth that I did previously here on this channel that I liked. I like that one thing, or I like the idea of it. I like the idea of the blocking. I just was doing random patterns there. I was doing, I did that weird eye, and not very realistic, not very anything, very flat. This one's a little bit more 3D. Brought in that tree here, and yeah, okay, so that's that. Like I said, like I could do more, and maybe I'll just add color or paint or something to it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really feel it. I don't feel this one, so I might just end anything on that and just like be done with it. Here's a quick, I did this quickly, and just all of this is highlighter. I bought a bunch of highlighters, and I bought like actual normal like art markers. I like the highlighters way more. I like the colors and stuff, and I like I'm a lot more, I don't know, man, I need the most like non-art supplies to actually just be able to make art. If I have legit art supplies, I'm like, oh my god, I can't do this. I'm scared. I'm scared of using the actual art supplies. Let me grab a highlighter real quick. So this isn't really much, I just pop that out. That's so just a face. I like the mouth. I just thought lips, and then like, what if the lips would just went like that? And these are random shapes that I tend to draw a lot. And then the eyeball and ball, like I tried to keep playing with that. Eventually maybe I'll know what I'm doing with that. This is real quick. Here's a random person. It's still, when I draw like this, it's so very stiff. Like, it's a very stiff person. That, I don't know, it's fine. Then a little eye, there's an eye, so I tried to draw a more realistic eye that time, and that's because I don't want to get stuck doing any one thing, you know what I mean? Like, if all I'm doing is drawing, here, I like this one. If all I'm doing is drawing really, like, simple eyes, like, I'm afraid that I'll get stuck next day, I would have, sore parts of your body that you're like, why is that part of your body sore? But that's what happens if you never run. Then all of it, like the sides will be, there are certain muscles that activate that you don't realize until you stop doing it, and then you do it again. So in that same way, drawing the eye, and there are certain things that if you just keep drawing like this again and again, you'll forget, and it's helpful to keep going back and trying things. And then of course, I'll bring this up in a second. So just to talk about this is mostly, I think, highlighters, and there are a couple art markers that I used, and then the ink is just Sharpie. It's a blue Sharpie, and this, I wish my beanie looked more like this guy. I might, maybe on the other side of this, maybe I'll try and draw something that looks more like that after I've gotten this practice of making this and stuff. So that's my beanie, and this is something that I got from Reddit. Let me see. Okay, let me get real quick. What is it? I took a picture. I guess I could throw that up as well. I took a picture of this thing that I came across. I don't know if I came across it on Reddit or the role of D4 receptor gene exon 3 polymorphisms in shaping human altruism and prosocial behavior. And this D4 receptor gene, exon 3 polymorphisms. So I don't know exactly what that means. Like, I think they were talking specifically about ADHD, where it was affecting, like, human altruism. You will have a higher degree of human altruism, and that's what this is down here. I wanted to add, I can continue to play around with adding words and other elements and stuff. Again, you gotta play around, you gotta try different things. And these are just simple drawings and stuff. Probably the green tea with caffeine is probably not helpful for keeping my mouth hydrated and stuff. Anyways, this came on another Reddit. Am I a bad person? I was on Reddit, and oh my god, with another account, I said the wrong thing, and it just spiraled me, and I was trying to understand, and I was trying to be, in my own way, pro-social. I was trying to be altruistic and see the best in people, and what that ended up happening was that, I don't know what to say. I don't want to say stupid things right now. I don't believe that like yelling at people and telling them to do better actually will make them more likely to do better. I think when you're around a guy or a girl and they say something, not great, no one will respond to bullying. No one will respond to harassment. If somebody becomes a better version of themselves, it's usually through going like, hey dude, like, what you said there, that wasn't very great, and it didn't, I don't know, okay, without going into all of it, I was attempting to be my own version of altruistic and caring and stuff, and I got told that I wasn't great, and that led to a little bit of a spiral for me, and I'm always dealing with depression anyways, and so a part of me just went, oh my god, like, I don't know anymore. I feel like I'm a bad person, and then I go, why do I feel like I'm a bad person? And the thing is that if you feel like you're a bad person, you will find, why do I have that? I'm way too in the middle. You will come up with the reasons. You know, that's part of the thing that sometimes, like OCD, OCPD, and just if you have low self-esteem, like let's say you have low self-esteem and you don't know why, you will end up concocting reasons for your low self-esteem. You'll end up with this, like you will think, oh well, it must be my body, so if I go to the gym, if I improve my looks, then I'll get the self-esteem. But maybe it doesn't go away. Well, then you go, okay, well maybe it's my face, my nose. If I go get plastic surgery, then I'll have self-esteem. Okay, maybe it's money. If I get a job and get enough money, then I'll have self-esteem. And the same thing with, am I a bad person? Well, I'll just do kind acts in the world and I'll feel like I'm a good person. I'll just do this or that or the other thing and I'll feel like I'm a good person. And that, I don't know, maybe for some people that works, but I think for most people, if it comes from a deeper place, being mistreated as a child, like there's no way of getting yourself to I'm a good person place if you don't recognize, like, oh, this comes from something way deeper, way further embedded in your psyche. And it doesn't even necessarily come from a real place, like maybe you were abused, yelled at by your parents, and it's like, you know, maybe you need to go, not am I a bad person, because when you're a kid and you're yelled at by your parents, like and you develop, like if they're really not good people or whatever, if they're toxic, if they're abusive, if they're not the best, you will, as a child, because you don't have the ability to differentiate from what's going on, you will get this embedded into your head. Not am I a bad person, but I am a bad person. And then, you know, at 20, at 30, at 40, the person's still walking around feeling like they're bad and they don't know why. And it's because when they were younger, they were mistreated and their parents weren't great. People will pick up on those, and I think that for me it's connected with autism and ADHD. You know, the world kind of told me, like, dude, you're not the right kind of person. Like, no one will say that out loud, but you'll always kind of get that pushed onto you. And you gotta, I don't know, realize that, I don't know, it's still a battle, because I can be in the world and hold up this while I'm talking. I can be in the world and still get those vibes of I'm not the right person. I can tell because I'm autistic, I'm not acting correctly and I'm not performing correctly this isn't a practice, then you can just flow into it, and you don't have to. You're not gonna have to think too much, because you'll have all these, like, again, like muscle memory, but like art memory. Like, oh yeah, I remember when I did that, and I like that. I remember when I did that, and I like that. And not even consciously, but just your unconscious will just go, yeah, whirl, whirl, and then it'll happen. And then the things that you don't like, I did this thing, I've done this before, and it's like I forgot, or I connected the two different, like eyes. I would connect them with lines, and then I'd make this lines, and then I did this down here at the nose. I think I'm pointing at the right thing, trying to look through the drawing. Not happy with that, and not happy with these lines. Like, they're okay, but it's like, why are they there? I like the chin, and I like the eyes things, like kind of like coming out the main eye, kind of melting into it, and the nose up there, and the half of that took a long time to turn into something that I liked. And the eyes, the multiple eyes, that was okay. That was fine. Not great, not bad. A lot of it. Yeah, okay, so it's fine. It's fine, I like it. The lips took forever. The lips were way different for the longest time, and I just hated it so much. And then I put this blue over it, and then redrew the lips, and I'm like, okay, I like that a lot better. So that's what happens for me, is that it's rare that everything comes together, but, and I didn't like, I kept thinking I would just make the hair, fill it in and stuff, but I just never did, and, because it just looks, like I like it a little bit, but if I filled in some of it a little bit more, just have her had dark hair and then had some of the lines and stuff where you could see the background, I think that would be better. I don't know. So that's it. That's all that I got for right now, and I didn't think it would take that long to go through. I thought I would just go do and throw it up, and that's it. Thank you for joining me on this video. If you did, you're wonderful. If you didn't, what is wrong with you? And thank you so much. You're wonderful.